Hey guys! Welcome to our first The Book of GenAI session by Blastland. Before we start, I want to break the ice with a short video we've recently created. The first and key message is very simple. The sky is your limit when dealing with generative AI. Today we are gonna do two things. Inspire you. And answer your questions. By the way, I've received a dozen questions from you, guys. Thanks for that. When talking about generative AI, I've identified what I call the three majors. This is my personal perspective. And I'd love to share it with you. Let's dive deeper into what they are.
Wooly my pet. My food. No worry, Wooly. Me no hungry yet. Me listen podcast. Good podcast. Good pods. Listen now to #1 fiction podcast at Good Pods. Blastland.
As with all things, including hobbies, you need to invest time in it. It's essential to understand that you should take your time and enjoy experimenting with generative AI. Otherwise, it won't work. So remember, give yourself enough time. The second milestone is your story. The story you want to tell. It needs to stand out in some way. AI is just a fancy tool, but a compelling story is what truly makes the experience enjoyable and meaningful. Last but not least, you need the right tools or instruments. It's like learning to play the guitar. You take your time, choose whether you want to play blues or rock, but ultimately, you need a guitar, your instrument, to bring your vision to life. So, remember these three key elements. Take your time. Have a good story to tell. And use the right tools. Now, let's dive into the tools. But before we do that, I want to share something very simple. The cycle. That's what I call it. My own definition. Essentially, it's an algorithm. Just like in music or any other hobby, whether it's fishing or cycling, you always follow a certain sequence of actions to get it right. In other words, every generative AI endeavor follows a cycle. Let's move on to the next part and break down what the cycle consists of. Where and how to find inspiration. Honestly, I don't know, everyone has to figure that out for themselves. What I can tell you for sure is that generative AI is a creative process. Personally, I go through phases. Sometimes I'm hyper-creative, and other times I experience complete writer's or creativity block for weeks. But that's totally normal. Another important element is what I call the groove. Every musician, for example, has their own unique touch or signature style, something that makes their music instantly recognizable. Whether it's B.B. King, Eric Clapton, or Prince, you can always tell who's playing. The same applies to generative AI. Develop a distinct trait that makes your work unique. Don't overthink it, just do it. The technical aspects, starting with prompting and leading all the way to the final movie or creation, will be the focus of the next slide. But here's the key takeaway: testing equals experimenting. That's the key multiplier of all your efforts. The more you experiment, the higher the mathematical probability that you'll learn, improve, and discover something amazing. And honestly, that principle applies to more than just generative AI. I won't spend too much time on this slide since you'll receive the presentation afterward. The only thing I'll say is this: the image you generate should consistently flow through the entire chain and seamlessly pair with the sound on top. And by the way, in my opinion, sound makes up 50% of a movie or trailer. Try all the tools listed here. This list is, of course, not exhaustive. Generative AI is still in its early days. It's like a kid in kindergarten. Every week, there's a new feature. New tools, new techniques, and new ways to create. The only way to keep up: test, follow, read, combine, experiment. There are no limits and no standards. You don't need permission to create, just start. Prompts won't always be perfect, but that's the point. Try everything. Sometimes, you need hundreds of prompts just for a 5-second video. But that's part of the process. AI is an instrument, like learning music. It takes time to find your own groove, your own creative fingerprint. I highly recommend checking out Heather Cooper, Dave Clark, and Kim Landers, as well as platforms like Runway Academy. There's so much to learn from the pros. Test, tweak, and refine. So dive in, experiment, and stay curious. Because in this world, the only way to learn is by doing. You will find the answers to the questions you sent us in the description of that video on our YouTube channel. We received dozens of questions and picked the trickiest ones.